Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and tech and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comments section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Alright guys, so there is some news this week and we got to get through it first, so let's go over the first bit of news. And the first starts with the Google Pixel 8 camera setup. And it does look like the Pro is going to get a few more upgrades, but it's really going to be in a couple of things. So first off, the Pro version is going to get the new main sensor. So it looks like they're going to differentiate that. At least as of right now, that's the rumor, that basically the main sensor will be upgraded to the GN2 on the Pro version, but maybe not the standard version. So we'll have to wait and see. There's ones with it and there's ones without it. As of right now, I can't imagine they would just change from what they've done every single year beforehand, but we'll have to wait and see. As of right now, let's just say it stays the same, but there is a chance that it could be different. So let's go over that. The idea behind this one is this is a second generation sensor from Samsung for this camera. The last one was the GN1. There's still going to be 50 megapixel sensors, but this one is going to let through more light and has the ability for 8K footage and also staggered HDR, which is going to be a much improved version, which is already impressive already as it is. I mean, Google does an amazing job at HDR, so even seeing a better job come from them is just going to be very impressive to see. Overall, though, that's going to be one of the biggest ones. The other thing is a surprise for me specifically, I would say, just because we haven't seen these work too well in the past, and that is a time of flight sensor. Now, time of flight sensors are a way of telling depth, and the reason why that's so big is because it's very different from just, a regular camera taking depth and that's it. Sorry, I've been out of it all week. I was sick during the beginning of it, and just a cough, lingering cough left. Time of flight was the whole idea behind it was a way to measure a sensor to measure distance. The thing is it was kind of handedly beat by LiDAR, which is another technology, which is a technology that both Samsung and Apple use. So I'm very interested to see why Google went with time of flight. It kind of died off with LG for the most part. So I'm very curious on how much it is going to be this time around in terms of, I mean, if anyone can pull it off, I think Google is very good at it. But I'm just very curious why they picked time of flight instead of LiDAR, except for maybe cost, because time of flight is much, much cheaper than LiDAR, but we'll have to wait and see if that's the reason why. Other news, it does look like the ultra wide is also going to be better on the Pixel 8 Pro in comparison to the Pixel 8, so it's going to have a better overall ultra wide angle as well as the standard regular camera. So very curious to see how it will go when it comes to that. And then finally, of course, this one has the telephoto and the new one that we've been hearing about, which is the thermometer, or basically it can check your temperature with it. And that was leaked a couple of weeks ago with their whole video of a person actually measuring their temperature with the phone. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But what I'm really, really excited for is something that is more in the software. So there is, a new way of cinematic mode, which is just the bokeh effect, which we have seen to varying degrees of success. Google does a very good job of bokeh and bokeh detection, though, so I'm very curious if this new processor for the G3, the Tensor G3, and this new GN2 camera will be able to do that good of a job at doing it. Very curious on that. However, the biggest thing I would say is what I'm really kind of interested in is segmentation auto white balance. So this is very important because auto white balance can get thrown off by a variation of things. And just so you know, auto white balance can mean the difference between you either looking as you do in real life, or a bit more pale, or a bit more yellowish, a bit more brown, a bit more darker than it is, a bit more orangey. Like, there's all these different things that white balance has an issue with, depending on how warm or on how pale the rest of the shot is. So on a very blue sky day, your skin tone is typically different compared to being having a nice warm woods panel behind you. Those are two very different outcomes that you will look quite different on because of white balance. So this is going to be the biggest thing, and that is that segmentation auto white balance is going to allow for AI to have a separation of white balance between the foreground and the background. That is huge. Like, that is something that no camera has been able to do. So that is something that is a little hidden nugget that can make the biggest difference in the world. I am very excited about it. As a person that does shoot photography and videography, it is something that is just so cool. Like, I cannot tell you how important that is, especially me coming from a family that has a variation of skin tones. So being able to match all of them has been a very troubling thing to sometimes do. And, you know, I'll make myself kind of ghostly white sometime, just so that my significant other and my kids can look better off. So it really is just a trick effect to try to get everyone just right. But this is a step in an amazing direction. Google has already done a very good job of being the best camera for darker skin tones. So I would very much love to see how this area goes. Honestly, this could be a bigger game changer than most people think, and very excited for it. All right. Then we have some other news, and that, oh wait, actually I wanted this story first. Okay, I thought this was very important to go over, and I know a lot of people are probably wondering, what is my take on the Apple Vision Pro? I did immediately post it on TikTok and Instagram. If you're not following me there, please follow me. I do a lot of daily updates ones there, including, like, I just posted that I did a video for Asus on their YouTube channel. So that was really cool. You can see me on their episode of Asus Garage. I did a insane computer build. It just looks absolutely ridiculous. This is like the most expensive desktop you could currently build in the market right now. I don't know what the exact pricing was for everything, but I would imagine it was like $4,000 to $5,000. So really insane. So go ahead and check that out. But I did post, as soon as the Apple Vision Pro came out, first of all, I laughed at every influencer that was like, it's going to be $2,000. It's going to be $1,500. It was so funny how, like, I'm glad that they did that. So then when the reaction actually happened, they couldn't have like, oh yeah, we expected it to be this price. No, you didn't. No one expected it to be that much. And definitely not Wall Street if you saw how much it dropped. So here's the thing. This is not for everyone. Clearly, right? I don't know how many people can afford $3,500 off the top just like that very easily. But the more interesting thing to me was, how much does it cost Apple to make it? How much does this whole thing cost Apple to make? And it looks like we've gotten to the bottom of it. It's $1,500. So the reason why that is so interesting is because, you know, on an iPhone, Apple makes a profit of about, you know, on $1,000 to $1,200 product, they make a profit of about $500. Now, this cost is not everything. This is a manufacturing cost. This is not marketing, and it's definitely not the research and development that took them to get to this level. So that being said, it was always going to cost a bit more and more profit per product than others did. However, $2,000 profit, Apple? $2,000? Like, even making it 3,000, I think would have gone over better for the Apple purist and everything. Like Apple would have been like, oh man, like that. Yeah. That's worth $3,000. Oh my God. It is so worth it. It's like a TV. It's like a home theater. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop saying that. You look like an idiot when you say that. It is not that. It is not that, because you are the only one that can watch it. The value of everyone being able to watch it is why a TV costs more. The value of things being able to process things is why it's more. By the way, do you notice how they really try to hide this ugly as heck Apple battery pack? That is the ugliest battery pack I have ever seen, and I'm including every Chinese manufacturer out there. Like, this is trash looking. They could have made it all white. Maybe they were afraid of it getting dirty. I get they didn't want to make it black because the whole aesthetic is white here, but man, this is trash looking. And I guarantee you there will be other manufacturers. I hope they open it up, this connection, this proprietary connection, because you know it's proprietary. Oh, that's the rub, isn't it? Because Apple can't use Type-C on their phone, so they're going to push this towards the future, because guess what? The EU didn't say all VR headsets have to be the same connection. That is the rub, isn't it? That is the whole idea. It's a proprietary connector, but I do hope that I hope that they really have the ability to upgrade this one in terms of having Anker and other manufacturers make a battery pack for it. Definitely. Now, will I say this? Is Apple's VR headset the best VR headset on the market? Yes. Yes, it is. It costs more than every other VR headset pretty much on the market as well. At least one that is self-powered. There are other VR headsets that connect to computers, that do all this kind of stuff and all that stuff. That is going to be much different in terms of technology and everything out there. Did they do everything and have sensors that everyone else did, but change it in a way that is unique to them? And did they do those sensors better? Yes, again, HoloLens has done pinch stuff like this before. It was not as accurate, but it also didn't cost in the same price range. And again, it was for a connected AR device to a computer. So, a couple of things here. Does Apple deserve to make a $2,000 profit on this? No. Should anyone buy this outside of influencers and outside of the ultra-rich? No. Did Apple think people would buy it? No. I said this when this dropped, I said this. This is the same thing that every other VR manufacturer did. But for some reason, influencers thought that Apple was going to skip this step. They thought that Apple was going to make a go-to-market product for consumer electronics, and they weren't. This is for enthusiasts. It's the same thing that Samsung did. It's the same thing Oculus did. It's the same thing HTC Vives did. You make a top-level version for enthusiasts and mainly for developers. So developers can create for this and make it, give it, 1,000 apps. So that by the time a $2,000 version releases, and it is worth $2,000, it absolutely is. By the time a slightly modified $2,000 version of this releases in 2 years, then that's a consumer product. This was never meant to be. And that's where a lot of people got crossed. And people have more made fun of it than me. Go for it. People have backed it more than me. Go for it. But honestly, that's just what it is. That's what it is. This is not meant for consumers. It's not. It's meant for developers and for tech enthusiasts that want to get views and videos and all that kind of stuff to watch it so that they will, get to watch it, get to play around with it, and essentially market it and demo it for them. Great. But this is all what is going to happen. This is not going to sell much. It's not going to be anything special in terms of sales. It's not. I doubt it will get more than 200,000 sales. I would say at a far estimate, you can get to 500,000, but I don't believe it will. I believe current estimates are now dropped to 150,000. I think Apple will do a little bit better than that, but that's what I would estimate it at. So that's what I believe it will be, right? And again, this is because everyone. I do want to clarify something that I said before this product drop. Everyone thinks Apple is bulletproof when it comes to go-to-market products. They're not, but they have a far better track record than everyone else. Everyone, of course, points to the iPhone, iPad, AirPods. Great. Even Apple Watch, right? So that's 4 categories they've done amazing in. It's really hard to everything they do touches the gold. Not the HomePod. Not their MacBooks. You can say what you want about MacBooks and all this stuff. The point is they don't even have 20% of the market still. So they don't sell as much. They do if you think so, and especially if you, like me, I live in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, hotbeds for Apple MacBook sales. Most of the country elsewise, Chromebooks and Windows. Most of the world, no one uses MacBooks. Most of the world, no one uses iPhones. So it's something that I always kind of temper your expectations, be realistic, be things that, yes, Apple has one of the best track records out there. They're going to do a great job at it. So it's fine. But just wanted to clarify all that because I think there are people bagging on Apple and not realizing that they did a great job with this product. They really did. Everyone that has worn it, including people that I know and respect, has said it's absolutely amazing. It's so different and it's so much more polished than everything else. And I believe it. The processing power in this is amazing. The OLEDs, the micro OLEDs in this, it's first. It's micro OLED is the best screen technology in the world right now. It's just very expensive. Only Samsung is making it, really, and it costs a lot of money. So yeah, it's expensive. In terms of the whole eye thing and all that kind of stuff, it's good. It's good. But it's very curious just how this will go. So I know that was going to be a topic. I'm sure we're going to talk about it later. I'm sure there's going to be people with questions about it or want more takes on it. But in terms of it, I just thought that this was rather eye-opening because Apple is essentially making a $2,000 profit on this. Maybe not exactly 2,000. Maybe if you give 500 for R&D and marketing as well, let's say, it's making it's making 1,500 profit off of it. Again, that shows you that they can lower the price. They can make this 2,000 and still make a profit, which is what probably will happen a year from now. Actually, not a year from now, a year after its first release. So my guess is we're going to see the first consumer version at the earliest announced September of next year. At the latest, probably WWDC 2025. That'll be the consumer ready version of it. Apple doesn't rush to anything. They don't need to. They have the time. They can make more money, and they can make sure that when this consumer version does launch, it has all the apps in the world for consumers. All right, let's get to the next one, which is Samsung and their S24 cameras. So this one is really kind of interesting because I'm so mad that, okay, so last year was the big change for the main camera. Finally, we got a big change for the main sensor, which Samsung needed for a while, and that is a 200 megapixel main sensor that got upgraded to, right? That was the big one. But My biggest thing that annoys the hell out of me is this one. The ultra wide is not again being changed. This ultra wide camera is over 5 years old, Samsung, come next year. What the heck? Like, why? Why haven't you been able to change this? It just really annoys me. Like, it annoyed me so much seeing like the Sony ultra wide camera on this Pro I was better than my S22 Ultra because it had a better ultra wide that was a wider angle. It was also annoying because the Pixel takes a better ultra wide as well. I don't know why Samsung hasn't upgraded this, and we can see it, right? This is the 564. Let me just go back to this real quick. It's better than this ultra wide right here, but it's not better than this ultra wide. It's like, Samsung, just improve the ultra wide camera. Okay, so what they are improving is they're improving the 10 megapixel, or sorry, the crop 10x camera. It's going to be a bigger sensor, so it's going to let more light in, which is good because when you 10x zoom, you don't ever want to do it at night on the S23 Ultra because of the fact that this one, the 10x is really only for bright light or even okay light, but definitely not for low light. So that's one thing for sure. So that's just one thing that you want to make sure that it hopefully, I mean, it's just one thing that, like, this is great upgrade. They're keeping this one the same, exact same as this one. This one's going to be the same as last year's model, which is fine. They just upgraded the 200 megapixel camera. Fine. But what is not okay is that this has been the same sensor for 5 years. Why? Oh, man. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know when they'll upgrade it, but I just want a better ultra wide camera. I want to be able to take great low light ultra wide shots that your processing does an amazing job with, but that's just one thing. So this is the camera lineup for the S24. Same main sensor, which is fine. It just got updated. Better 10x optical zoom, same 3x. I'm surprised they're keeping the 3x still. The 2x to the 3x is a small jump that I don't think it's needed anymore, especially with the 200 megapixel sensor. I would honestly probably gotten rid of that. I think they're just keeping it at this point for aesthetic purposes because I don't think it's needed anymore. Or at least if they would have brought it to a 5x and a 10x, that would have been better. But I really don't need I don't think the 3x is necessary anymore at this point, especially when you haven't upgraded the sensor, so it's not going to be as good in low light. Cameras sensors do by default, they'll change to the better sensor for the nighttime that's needed. So that's good. All right. Last bit of news before we get to your questions. Again, if you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the comment section down below so I can get to them. Is something I am very, 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 very interested in. And that is that we know the Flip Fold and the Flip Fold, the new Samsung foldable. No, we know the Fold 5 and the Flip 5 are coming this year. We know that. And I have told you that it was confirmed, as it was, that it would be in Korea announced instead of the US. I can tell you a lot of influencers were upset by that, kind of, just because we're like, well, we're not going to get to go because they're going to pay, the MKBHDs, the Austin Evans, the high-end YouTubers that have millions of followers, and that's it. And everyone else will get left behind. However, that's not what happened, actually. What happened is that we actually are possibly going to have our own launch event August 11th. Now, here's the thing about that. Why? And I mean why in multiple questions. Why is it that far after the July 27th one? Because as an influencer, I'll tell you right away, I want it the same day. Like, hold the event in the US the same day so we can go to it and call it a day. Because the videos will all do better the quicker they are together. The other thing is that will probably upset a lot of influencers, quite frankly, is the fact of like, not as many influencers are going to show up. The big ones won't, because the big ones will already be invited to the big show. So the smaller influencers might get invited, but then Samsung probably won't give them products because we're like, well, no, we gave all the big ones products. So it's a whole thing that's just kind of like, is it going to be as worth it to do this? Is it going to get as many views? Is it going to be a whole thing? So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm very confused by this. Very confused. August 11th is typically the time that the regular launch is. So I'm not sure if that's why they're doing it at that time. But yeah, that's just one thing that I'm very confused by. Do not know why they're doing. We'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, that was the news. Now let's get to your questions. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comments section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Just take a quick sip. By the way, what news was most interesting to you guys today? Let me know. I'm kind of trying to figure out what's the best news to always talk about with you guys. So yeah, just let me know. All right. Let's go ahead and see. I can't wait to hear how much cost to Samsung to make the Fold and S23 Ultra. We didn't talk about that. I'm guessing you're being facetious in that. But yeah, we didn't talk about that one. I know that Samsung is still overcharging. If that's what you're getting at, Samsung is absolutely overcharging for their foldables. It's why we want other people to make foldables, so that we can actually get a fair pricing across the board. Samsung should only be charging at the most $1,500 in my opinion for their foldables. They're still overcharging for it because no one else is challenging them for it. It's why I want, of course, like seeing Apple's ProVision, I want Samsung to make a version of it competing with it. I want Google to make a version competing with it, because more competition is going to force lower prices. Does the porn industry know about Vision Pro? Yes, they do. I will tell you that like that was one thing at CES that I was really kind of surprised by. I don't know if you remember that we did this video. I'm pretty sure I posted it. I don't think it got flagged or taken down. But me and my camera guy and editor Richie went to CES. I want to say it was when Gear VR was still the big VR headset, really, and the first Oculus and the first Vives were out there. And we viewed porn on the show floor. They had, they put a set for you. You could either have a guy version or a girl version, and basically you got to experience it for it was like 30 seconds or a minute. And it was funny viewing it. Obviously you're in a floor with all these people and everything like that, but it was very crazy to experience it. So will they make stuff for this? Absolutely. It has to hit the masses, but I guarantee you they're already thinking about the 3D depth and all that stuff. Absolutely. By the way, I still don't think that's ever taken off, but that's also because VR hasn't ever taken off. It's had its moments where it's been bigger, but it's never completely gotten there. Tea and honey time later. Yes, I still will probably need some more tea and honey. I got my own really cool. Of course I did. Of course I got a really geeky style, cool, multiple system tea thermostat tumbler. Yeah, all this kind of thing. I'll do like a post about it tomorrow when I have my tea at work. Mullet baby, thank you, man. Hey. GN2 is a newer budget sensor of the H2 family. Got it. Tim Cook demanded a visor where Apple engineers wanted more smaller design. Oh, okay. Tim Cook won because he wanted to rush it out to take on Meta and Facebook monopoly in the market. Apple might make a smaller one to look like the Unreal VR. Yeah, I have this one right here. It's better than the Unreal, but it's not as good as the or Xreal. They changed their name now. It's no longer called Unreal. It's called Xreal apparently. There is another competitor to them though that is better. But this one was like the first gaming one, and I think I showed it a couple weeks back. But this one is a really cool one. So this one's with a visor to make it more VR, but then this one is augmented reality, and this one is really cool. Like it's very clean. It's not as high quality, obviously, as the Apple one, but this is also doesn't have any processing on board. This connects to an actual device, so I can connect it to my actual Samsung or my laptop, which I have done. I've edited with this and I've posted with this to see how it would work. I don't think the clarity is enough for this, but funny enough, it's really good for the Nintendo Switch, for the Steam VR, for gaming. It is awesome. And that's what it's actually geared towards. It's geared towards, it's a 1080p resolution, but with 120 FPS. Or sorry, a 120 hertz display. So that, I read FPS on the screen right now. 120 hertz display. So that will be great for gameplay. And again, things like the Steam Deck and the Switch, really good for that. So yeah. All right, scroll back up. Was that it, Mullah Baby? Samsung glasses are still in alpha and is not the priority for them. The budgets were cut by 30% after Gear VR. They are taking their time. Ugh. I want the Samsung glasses so bad. TCL is going to come through, though. TCL is going to make the best VR headset probably this year. Or augmented reality headset this year. Not VR, sorry. AR. Any changes to the ultra-wide would need to have a Sony sensor. It's done for cost. Yeah, makes sense. A cheaper Fold A series, you say? Interesting. Might be good product idea. Yeah, I've heard the rumors. We'll see if it actually comes through, though. All right. Let's see. Apple being Apple again. I want a Pixel Fold. So do I. I ordered mine. There are some delays, actually, with the Pixel Fold shipments. It was originally supposed to come, this month, but now it's like, I think the beginning of July for me. Let me see. I will pull it up while I answer the next questions, but I think mine was delayed to ship out the next month. So yeah, I just ordered delivered from June 27th to July 6th. So now it's a range. Before it was, or let me see if I can look into it exactly for that product. No. So yeah, it's just saying that it's June 27th to July 6th, but not in a concrete date. June 20th to 21st is when I'm going to get my Google tablet. So that'll come then. And yeah, those are the orders I'm waiting for Google. I felt like I got, did I not get 3 things? Was there 3 things? Oh, the Pixel 7a. I have that one. Yeah. All right. What else, guys? Lightning adapter, let me guess, not included. I don't know if so I think the battery pack might be type C. Maybe that is. They haven't actually been clear on that as far as I can tell. But the battery pack is what actually has the charge. The battery pack has to be connected the entire time you're using it, which I felt like a lot of people didn't necessarily know that. Like, you can't use it without the battery. It doesn't have its own battery on board. That's why it's lighter. Well, lighter than it can be, because they did make it more metal than plastic. So yeah, but the battery pack has to be on. the whole time connected to it. Let's see. I agree, but not an A for, but not an A for Apple. Tim Cook needs to be cooked. Apple will sell more VR headsets than Samsung was able to give away. No, not the first year. Samsung actually did sell in the millions of VR headsets, so and Apple will not sell in the million for this product. So profitability, yeah, they're gonna make more profit, but no, not gonna sell more in this first iteration. No, not even close. When the hell is Apple? Let's see. Still want my Scouter, so do I. So do I. I will say Samsung better step up soon. I'm leaning towards Lenovo for tablet and computer. Interesting. Which Lenovo tablet are you taking a look at? I'm very curious to see which one. I would definitely take... when it comes to Samsung laptops, I think it is good if you have a Samsung smartphone, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're the best bang for the buck, except for that the new Odyssey one I really want to check out. But for it depends on what you're looking for. If you just want a light thin one, sure, they're good for that. But I guess I've been out of the Samsung book game for a while because for me, I need to do editing, and the Odyssey is the first one in a while that can do that. Let's see. Why upgrade to a new phone when you don't change much? I'm still on my S22 Ultra, love it. And that's the rub, right? Like phones are at the point where you don't really need to upgrade them. Like why? And I say this as a person that essentially my content is based on people upgrading phones, but I will always be honest in the fact that like you don't need to. I mean, what does the new phone do that is going to improve your life that much better? Yes, it's going to take better photos. Yes, it's going to have better battery life. But, you know, that 10% to 15% bump up doesn't hit everyone. Doesn't need for everyone to get it. So, yeah, I will say that's for sure. Let's see. I'm still rocking my S22 Ultra 2. Interesting, sounds like it will be a US event, but So not sounds, damn. But sounds. Got it. Hey, Cornelius, thank you so much for the super chat donation. Apple has the right idea, but the wrong time. It's about 50 years too soon. They didn't get the memo that 3D TV got 16 years ago. Tech not ready. Yeah, the whole 3D aspect, there's nothing stupider to me than the idea of taking a photo with it. That I will say was like, oh God, Apple. What? Like, I get they just felt like we have all these sensors on front. Why not have a camera there to be able to see? But no. It's already bad enough for these iPad people that take photos at places. Like, stop it. Use a phone. Transformers movie was good. The Transformers movie that came out. You know what I was telling you guys last week? I had 3 good movies in a row that I were like, this is a great year for movie. This is, if you have not gone to the movie theaters and seen some of these movies, these are amazingly good movies. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, great movie, perfect ending for a trilogy. Okay, almost perfect ending. I have an issue with one of the things. What was the next one? Before that, John Wick 4 was amazing. Little Mermaid. Better than the cartoon. I will die on that hill. I will die on that hill now. It is absolutely, the more I think about it, it is like I probably will watch the cartoon one more time in my life at least for my son, and maybe if we have another kid, to them, I want to have them see all the Disney movies, right? All the important ones. Um, so all the princess ones for sure. Why not have them see the lineage? But that's about it. I completely think that the Little Mermaid live action was better. And you can see that the audience score is like it's the best one ever for a Disney live action movie. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. And there's another thing. I didn't really care for the cartoon version, and this live version actually got me to like it. So yeah. Then there was Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Great movie, another home run. It's just really good. Can't wait for the next one next year. And now we had Transformers. I was nervous. I was very, very nervous. Especially too because they used my Beast Wars to get the audience in. I didn't appreciate that because I knew the Beast people, the Beast Wars, Optimus Primal, the best Prime ever. Fight me. You know, I was a kid. I was explaining this to a friend the other day because I was jokingly say it. I will always say that, the 80s Transformers will hold a special place in cinema, in people's hearts, everything. But to me, I didn't grow up with them. I didn't. I grew up in the 90s with Beast Wars, and they were awesome. So awesome. And for me, that was the Transformers that I grew up with. So that is the Transformers that I had always wanted to see on the big screen. So, that being said, Transformers Rise of the Beast was the best Transformers movie ever made. Yeah, it was the best Transformer movie ever made. Like, handedly. Bumblebee was good. It was a good movie. Michael Bay had the action and comedy, all that stuff. But this was a just great Transformers movie. Absolutely great. Did the Beast, Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor, Air Razor get the time that they should have? No. So I'll still, a little salty about that. I want an actual Beast Wars spin-off. Let them show what happened in the past, future past. It's a complicated story. That is what I would want to see. But if this is the first step in a trilogy, which is what it's supposed to be, this is the first movie in a trilogy, I think that a lot more people should visit Transformers again for the first time, or visit them again since a long time because they did an amazing job. So yeah, I think again, if you wanted to see a Transformers movie, a good Transformers movie, this is probably the best one you'll ever see. All right. I read this earlier, but cheaper Fold A series, you say. Interesting. I mean, I've been wanting that. I have sorry about that. I have honestly been wondering if the Flip 5 will drop in price a little bit this year. Just to do a little jab at Motorola. Because they can do it at this point. They can definitely do it at this point. But it is going to be a higher cost because they're screen, so we'll have to wait and see. But I would really want to see that. I would really, really want to see that if the Flip 5 will cost a little bit less. But yeah, if they make a cheaper foldable, I'm so down for that for the masses. All right. Who can you say no to? Who can you say no to a Tab S9 series, all with an OLED display on all models and a 45-watt charger? Whoa! Finally, they're doing an OLED display. I will say that really bothered me when all the Tab S series. So what started happening a couple years ago was the Tab S series was OLEDs. Like when they first came out, the Tab S, the first one was the first one with that big of an OLED display. And we heard that the S series would now be the OLEDs and the A series would not have OLEDs. So that's how the division was going to be. But then we started 2 years ago. Oh no, well the Tab S7 isn't going to have OLED, but the Tab S7 Plus will. Well, the Tab S8 and the Tab S8 Plus are not going to be OLED, but the Tab S Ultra will. Actually, no. I think the Plus was still. I think the Plus has always been still. Sorry, I think I take that back. I think the Plus was also OLED, but that kind of bothered me because the base one wasn't OLED, and it's like it shouldn't be that expensive then, if it's not OLED. So hearing that they're going to be all back to OLED is a really cool thing. I'm happy to hear that. I still don't know if I will have a big enough reason to upgrade from my Tab S8 Ultra to my Tab S9 Ultra, because the Tab S8 Ultra costs a lot of money. So Samsung better have a good reason for me to upgrade. I don't know if they'll have one. I'm not interested in being that much faster, but we'll have to wait and see what else they come up with. Excuse me. I'll tell you one thing. If they came up with what Lenovo did and given HDMI out and in, that would be very interesting. Like, that would make me like, okay, yeah. I know you can wirelessly do it, but wirelessly doesn't allow for me to do certain things. Like, I can play a video on my Samsung tablet, but I can't edit on my second. It's too much of a delay. So yeah, I would want a wired version, like Lenovo has. What's up, Briggy? It's the Apple guy. Hey. Wait. Oh, you just called me the Apple guy? How dare you, sir? You could check my receipts. I've never, ever been the Apple guy. I never will be the Apple guy. Apple isn't the best. No. I know this would be an unbelievable concept to many people. You can like both Apple and Samsung products. Well, yeah, if you like Apple products, you're going to have to like Samsung products. Samsung makes them. So, yeah. But, yes, in everything, there's going to be a division on which side you choose and all that kind of stuff. And most people are fine with jumping back and forth, but you get that 20% that's the diehard Apple people and 20% that's diehard Android people. It is what it is. I love my iPhone 14 Pro Max. I love my Apple Watch Ultra, and I love my Galaxy Tab 8 S8 Ultra. That is very impressive. That's a very interesting lineup. I would agree that in terms of watching content, the Tab S8 Ultra is better than an iPad. But if you want to be productive and all that kind of stuff and syncing, that's a very interesting concept to go with. So yeah, very cool. I would love to see more companies make more affordable foldable phones. Motorola is going to make a more affordable flip phone. The Moto Razr this year, there's a Moto Razr and a Moto Razr Plus, which I believe I'm getting the Moto Razr Plus. I have to actually check with Snapdragon on that. I haven't reached out to them since last week. But yeah, so I think I am going to get that one to check out and review. So I'll have to wait to see that. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see how it is. Oh, wait, is that Ben? Like I used to work with Ben? No, I'm the Apple guy. Let me know. Let's see. Oof. Let's see. We will welcome an iPhone 15 users to USB Type-C on both ends in a few weeks. Yeah. I think that will be. I think Apple is going to do record sales. By the way, I think Apple will absolutely do record sales. By the way, because that's a reason to upgrade. That is a reason to upgrade to the iPhone so that your madness of lighting can stop, and it's just USB Type-C across the board. And finally, everyone, when they ask to borrow a charger, can have the same charger. It's almost as if it's the way it should have been a long time ago. Yeah. Apple's new journaling app is putting a fast one on day one. Is pulling a fast one on day one. I'm not sure what they're doing to their journaling app. I haven't looked at it, or at least I didn't see other people talk about it. I'm not sure which Lenovo tablet it is. It is a 14.5 inch, I believe. I'm guessing it's probably one of the ones I saw at CES, but there was like 4 or 5 that they showed at that event, so I'm not sure which one. I would like to see, which Twitter comment are you posting on there? Oh, the opening pitch. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys still haven't seen it, go ahead and check out Twitter. The link that Quiet Storm just posted. Let's see right here. Opening pitch that I did for the Padres last week. You have to click and see how that went. But yeah, right there. All right. Let's see. I would see Fast X, Guardians 3, Transformers, John Wick 4 all over again. Now I'm waiting on Mission Impossible. Oh, I'm definitely waiting for Mission Impossible. I hope it's really good. The last one I thought was awesome, so we'll have to wait and see. Let's see. I love my Lenovo tablet, my Skull Candy headphones. We can embrace all tech. Absolutely. I have no problem embracing all tech. I just like to call all tech out when they're wrong. And my whole point is to give my opinion on the tech that I think that people should buy and shouldn't buy. That's, again, my opinion. I have a Lenovo A540, the worst battery life in the world, but I still love it. Oh, was that like the first Yoga ones? Mullet baby, no first date questions for Apple Vision. No, I refuse to make 50 first date questions for Apple Vision as a developer. I refuse to do it, and of course that's what's going to make it not succeed, is not having my little app on there is what will bring the whole Apple Pro Vision. If Apple Pro Vision does not sell 1 million units, it's clearly because it doesn't have 50 first date questions on there. I mean, I don't know why else. Sure, I might as well do my shameless pitch. 50 First Date Questions is an app that I created that you can find on the Android App Store as well as the Apple App Store. It's a game where you ask them a question, they ask you a question. You find out if you're compatible. You find out if it's going to be worthy of another date. You find out if you have a future together. If they fail at this game, then it's just not going to happen. 50 First Date Questions in the links in the description down below. And it's free. So, yeah, try it out on your next date. Let's see. The studios learned their major mistake killing off Optimus Prime from the 1986 "Don't kill off characters people love." If I'm not mistaken, aren't they going to come out with a sequel to that one this summer, like in August? I heard. So yeah. I think that I heard that they were going to come out with one of those to that cartoon that everyone loved. I think the Moto Razr outer display will be bigger than the Flip. It is. So the Flip one ends right here. The Moto Razr goes all the way to the edge. So yes, the Moto Razr has a bigger one, but it's more of, is it going to be useful and big enough? I will tell you, Samsung, their secret sauce is going to be the cover screen app. That developers made something to make the cover screen completely the same as on the rear screen or the main screen. So the support is going to be the biggest thing for that. Oh wait, sorry, I wasn't showing my screen, just to show you. The Samsung one cuts off here, whereas the Razer one goes all the way to the top. So yeah. Ben, it is you, dude. How have you been, man? I hope you're doing good. Still touting the Apple flag, I see. Um, it's funny. I used to work with this gentleman, Ben. Awesome, great guy. Back when I was in Best Buy, while I was going to college, and it was funny because the job I did after that was doing Toshiba tablets, selling Toshiba tablets at a Best Buy. It was in Los Feliz, or no, Burbank. Very Apple heavy area, I might add. Of course. And the Apple guy there was so smug to me when I got there that he was like, dude, good luck trying to sell any Toshiba stuff. You just might want to stick over to the laptop area, or better yet, the TV area. This is Burbank. This is, Apple Central. We got the Glendale Galleria store, one of Apple's biggest iconic Apple stores in the world. They're like, this is Apple area. No way you're gonna sell, Toshiba stuff, right? Oh, I did stay with Alcatel for after that actually. Alcatel was the full time job after that one. Um, Toshiba was only like I only did that for like I want to say it was like 3 months, I think. I only did Toshiba for, and then I went to Alcatel after that, which turned into TCL. But yeah, so the Toshiba one was really funny because I outsold iPads with Toshiba tablets. That that store iPad sales went to a halt because of me. So much so that the regional manager for Apple came down there and asked him, "What is wrong? You were one of my best salespeople. What happened?" The guy went like this. That guy. That guy right there. I was doing my YouTube channel, by the way, at this point, too. So, yeah, it was always funny. And I always say that for when people say, like, oh, okay, so you're a good salesperson. And especially in the interview, what makes you think you're such a good salesperson? I'm like, I outsold iPads with Toshiba tablets. I mean, I don't think there's anything more I need to say at that point than I did that. Like, tell me, as good of a salesperson that you are, that you could do that. Like, it's very niche. Now that was always it was always just the funniest thing to me, but that's how much of a diehard like Android user and just everything I was. And yeah, I literally I halted their sales while I was there, and I sold more Toshiba tablets obviously than anyone in the country for that company at that point. And they were just like, "Oh my god, this guy's great." But it was a part-time job, and I wanted a full-time job. So yeah, it was just so funny. You were spreading those lies to customers about Apple. I was not. Actually, the best strategy I would always say in sales is tell customers everything about each product. So at that job, that's all I had to do. Customers there were never getting any help. Right? The store was very sales driven. I think Best Buy at that time had you fill out a form just to buy a computer or a tablet. It held it very very far back. So it was just this mess to get products. And so they would always be waiting by the tablets, like, oh yeah, I just want to buy a tablet or anything like that, or I'm guessing I'm probably gonna get an iPad, and I'll be like, oh, do you want me to tell you about all of them? And I would tell about them. I would tell them everything about the iPad that they would want to know. And then they were like, oh, well, who do you work for? I see, you work for Toshiba. And I was like, yeah, I work for Toshiba. Like the iPad has all this. The Toshiba, at that time, I think it had the what do you call it? It was the only one with the full ports. So it had the full size HDMI. It had the replaceable battery. So I would say like, oh yeah, the Samsung over there, ultra thin, tablet. It's thinner than the iPad, actually. It has a better display than the iPad. The Asus one over here, I think that was the one with the dock for the laptop. So it had a dock for the keyboard that came with it, very ahead of its time. And that one was that one over there, so that's the benefit of that one. The Toshiba, you can just connect it directly to your TV, and anything you have on here, you now can connect it to your TV when you're traveling to a hotel or when you're anywhere else out in the world. You can just connect it directly with one HDMI. You don't need adapters. Apple even couldn't do that at the time with the Lightning adapter. So yeah, it was just. Now I would just be like, oh yeah, you can do that. Yeah, if you have photos and you take them on your, people are still using point and shoots this time. You have a full SD card. You can put it directly into your Toshiba tablet and just view them in this nice big display. And when people would ask me, what's the downside about it? I'm like, honestly, it's not as good of a display as these other tablets that we're talking about right here. So if you really want the best screen, that's the Samsung over there. But here, let me play a video for you. I would play them, whatever, the highest resolution video, 1440p video that was out of the time of a trailer. And what did they think? They thought that screen was good enough for them. Hey, well, this one has all these other features that these don't. I'll buy this one. And that's how I did it every single time. So I told them everything about each product. And then when they asked me about my product, which I didn't tell them about until they asked, that's how I closed them. That's sales for you guys. And no, it wasn't misinformation, Ben. It was just sales. Let's see. Will you review mobile high-speed internet service, given your take on T-Mobile and Verizon? Be interested to hear your thoughts and reviews. I did have the T-Mobile one, so I did review the T-Mobile version. It wasn't ready for prime time, is what I said. I thought it was really good when it worked, but there was so much downtime in my area. And when I asked them, like, I literally got on the phone with the service and they were like, oh, well, yeah, they're doing stuff to your towers, for the next few months. So it's not going to be as good because, yeah, I thought about going to T-Mobile instead of, what I ended up getting, which was, Fios here. But yeah, didn't because of that. So yeah. We should have a live debate, Ben. That is not a bad idea. I welcome all comers. I do. I've never lost a battle when it comes to Apple products. I don't think I ever could. Like, I don't think I would ever allow myself to. But yeah, it's always fun. What's up? Super late. So just rewind the show. Sad electronic weekend. My son S10e died. Oh, at the water park. Had to buy a new one. Picked up an S21 Plus on Amazon for $350ish. Nice, with a 2-year warranty. Looks good. Hey Warren, that's nice, man. That's a good upgrade for him too. Going from an S10e to an S21 Plus. That's a nice, solid upgrade. Hit the smash like button for Ricky. Thank you. I'd appreciate that, man. I left you something on Instagram. I'll check it out. I always do, by the way, Holiday. Even though if I don't always get back, sometimes I'm just busy. And sometimes, like, during my work, I'm in a meeting or something like that. So I'll see it later. And then I do. But then I forget to message it because it's like midnight by the time I get to see it. Oh, well, at least one has a warranty on it this time. Gee, hate that happened, though. Yeah, man. You were spreading lies on Alpha customers. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a Verizon review, to be honest. I'm curious to see how that would compare to the T-Mobile one. I might take a look at it, see how it can handle my house. And my house is a very difficult house because I have multiple security cameras that do 4K footage, 2K footage. I think that's the lowest, actually. 2K is the lowest that I have now. I don't think I have any 1080p anymore. So I have all of those. Plus, I have my laptop, my wife's laptop, my daughter's laptop, my son's tablet, all the phones here. So it's a very difficult house to do. So I just don't know if those streaming services are ready for something like my house yet. But it would be something I wouldn't mind testing out. I would just have to see what Verizon's return policy is, because I would definitely test it out for as long as the return policy would be. Whether that be you know, 14 days or 30 days. I would hope it would be 30 days, but we'll have to see. Let's see. Indeed, that would be interesting. It was marketing. There you go. It was marketing. All right, guys. Oh, that is a live stream warning alert. I probably should be heading out. It's been a little over an hour now at this point. But thank you guys very much. I'll try to get back on the video. Sorry, this week I just was sick, so I couldn't get on as many videos as I would have liked. But if you do want to check out that one that I posted, actually, I will drop it in the chat. And leave some good comments, too, if you can, actually, on this video. I would appreciate it, just because it is something that, you know, Asus is going through some drama right now with it. They've resolved all the issues, or else I wouldn't have done the video, to be quite honest. But, yeah, if you can, go ahead and watch this video and leave a comment on it. Any comment on this video would help me out a lot, so go ahead and leave a comment on there. This is the computer build I did for Asus, so any good comments about me or anything like that, I would really appreciate it, just so that Asus would kind of know, like, oh, we want to work with this guy again. It would really help me out. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do I think about Twitter platform plans on doing live stream there? No, I've never planned on doing live stream there. I just don't think Twitter's good for a live streaming platform as of right now. It just doesn't have the infrastructure to really do it good, I would say. But that's just my opinion on that right now. All right, guys. I will see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really always appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like, thumbs up button before you leave. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.